Okay, third game of the day. And guess what? Surprise, more Khador. Oh man, so much Khador. But here we are. We got some Khador, Vlad 2, and that's a siege chariot up there on the left. And, ooh, get up my little drawing app. There's some shock troopers over here in the purple. Then we got some Democorp right there with dragovich. You got a Clamjack, got a Juggernaut, and just, got their free strike tanker and suppression tankers sitting back there. A couple of kovniks as well. And let me get rid of all that cool purpleness I just put all over the screen. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got. Vlad 2 running some Manowar with an experimental siege chariot. This is one of my team tournament team members, and we finally get a chance to play again. He's grown a lot as a player. He's developing very nicely. I absolutely love playing him, seeing what he's doing, and I love his mentality for this game, his passion for the game, and how he looks at the game, how he treats the game, and how he is growing within the confines of the game and getting all the best benefits out of it. I get enjoyment from his kind of rise and growth. It's very satisfying. I absolutely love our meta and how it's growing, and the people that are there inside of it because of just watching them grow, watching them learn steps in the game, and watching them then use those steps to beat other people and learn hard lessons. And it's so much fun. I mean, I've also got a kid on the way, so I'm imagining it's somewhat similar to like watching a kid grow and learn how to do all these things that I've learned. And I don't know, I love it. I'm done going down this rabbit hole. On with the game. I've got a Serious Shadows. That's a Hyperion, not a Helios. I got really lazy with my conversion and didn't take any of the pieces off to switch it over. Besides, I got the Starburst cannon instead of the tractor beam cannon. Issyria's back there behind Hyperion. I went first. Unit of Infiltrators over there by the clock on the left. They're going to be ambushing. 2 units of Strike Force, and then I've got these Infiltrators intermingled in. He also has a set of Eliminators. Can't really see them right here, but they're running around here somewhere. So that's basically me getting up. He just gets up the board, and he's like, hello, come at me. So I'm looking at the whole concept of Manowar and the Siege Chariot. I conceptually think that they have a problem with being jammed. Now, all these shock troopers over there, I can try and jam them back behind that house and they can contest this zone, but I'm fine with it. I think I can keep them out of there with my min unit of Infiltrators ambushing off the side of the board. I think I can keep them there for a long time. These shock troopers and the Clamjack, I got to stop that Clamjack. I need to get something. Basically, I want to tie his army down and start scoring this zone unopposed so that later on, as the game progresses, I can play towards turn 7 with a scenario advantage. Because I think that's how this game is going to roll out, is going to turn 7. And I want Hyperion to start just carrying that game. I've got 2 Arcanists behind him to heal him up for stray shots he takes, and I want things to start going that way. So, the plan for right now is kind of just jam up his Sanguine bonded, mini-feeded dudes and just kind of jam up his army. And I think that's going to be the way to do it. This Clamjack that can bulldoze, it has blast damage. I really do not want that getting into my Mage Hunters. At some point in my life, I'm going to have to deal with it. So, plan is to put an Infiltrator or a Mage Hunter Strike Force guy, get my drawing app, right about there. And that way, he can't get around it. And if he tries to bulldoze it out of the way, it'll get stuck on the corner of the house. That kind of forces the Kayazi to deal with it. And I don't know. I just more puzzle. Give him more puzzle. Whoa. So that's pretty much what happens. And here we are. I put him in that kind of a pickle. I killed some things, not really much. Did some damage, not really much. Dice weren't very hot, but that's fine. I didn't plan on this. I held a lot back. This was not an alpha turn. I mean, it was an alpha, but it was like a quarter of an alpha type thing. I don't really know what to do with my Strike Force this game. They're not going to do enough in melee, and there's not really things for them to shoot. it's kind of an awkward spot for Strike Force. I should be shooting down his mechanics, and I should be shooting down his Chaosi Eliminators on feat turn. But besides that, besides doing massive CRAs, I just don't know what to do with them. Get them in the way, have them contest, throw them away. That's kind of what I'm doing with them. But they're an expensive unit that's a big part of the kit. I'd really like to assassinate Vlad, but with him being behind all this stuff and behind that wall back there on a camp, I just don't think the assassination's there. Also, Vlad, too, gets more armor once you start shooting him. And on a camp behind a wall, I can Phantom Hunter to ignore line of sight, and I can feat and possibly Blinding Light him. I just doesn't seem very good. Also, Blinding Light to that Siege Chariot, because why not? So that's kind of where my head's at on this matchup, and I don't feel like it. The purpose of this game is to show this Khador player this is a pretty popular Retribution net list, and I kind of want him to get used to Shadows and get used to Issyria. He's someone that's going to be on team tournaments with me, and this is a really good chance to show them both. So he comes up with some really good answers. He does some stuff that's I really, really like. I didn't realize it in the moment. I sort of did, but I didn't realize the full implications. The Chaosi Eliminators, that blast damaging, bulldozing, clamjack, and all the random guns he has are really, really good for clearing off Manowar. So I identified Manowar as having a problem with being jammed, kind of like Troll's champions. But I mean, the Sanguine bonded Democorp has Vengeance. So they bop a few, Eliminators kill a few. The Clamjack goes around and starts blasting through. And here comes the other big thing. This suppression tanker back here, having Tactician Manowar is a really, really big deal because he can get within 5 of all my surviving Strike Force, and even while they're engaged, their defense of 18, he can put Hand of Fate on that thing with the additional dice to hit warrior models. He needs like a 12 on 3 dice or 4 dice, take away the lowest. And he gets it. He just starts blowing away him. I expected him to do the sprays. I actually did think about it. And I put most of my dudes in a concave to try and make it hard for him. But didn't need to at all. He just walked up and started shooting him down. So that sucks. Other than that, shock troopers kill stuff, eliminators kill stuff. He frees up he took a lot of time doing this, but realizing that he was jammed and needed to grab territory, he made the correct decision. He spent the clock and he got himself unjammed and had himself set up to be unjammed in a way that his Democorp could get farther up the map and grab territory. And he feeded on them so that they could hopefully hold that territory and get the work done that they needed to get done, which was a really big deal because I wanted to keep him right there so that I could score points reliably. He turned that around on me, killed everything that I put into his face, and dug deep into my lines to basically where Hyperion is and reversed it on me, and basically locked me into the spot where I am. So my little quarter alpha that I did ended up costing me a lot more. He took away a lot of infiltrators, which is what I need to hit hard with. The shock troopers back here are just still piddling around and doing stuff. The siege chair is just kind of piddling around and doing stuff. And he put me in an awkward position. And here we are in that awkward position. I lost way more models than I thought I was going to. The Clamjack did a lot of work. So, what needs to happen now, in my head, in theory, is I need to tie up that assault chariot that siege chariot over there. I need to kill all the Democorp using blinding light and feet so I can hit them because they're defense 15 right now, base to base with defensive line and Vlad's feet. So they also have retaliatory strike. So I got to get blinding light on them, and then tie up that Clamjack a little bit. Kill the infiltrators, and key piece is disrupting the Juggernaut because I need to get Hyperion forward, and the Juggernaut, after the damage that the Manowar has done, the Juggernaut might just do a huge amount of damage to Hyperion that I'm going to have a hard time recovering from for late game type of attrition because I'm still playing towards turn 7 scenario is my win condition that I think here. But he got too much work done that turn, and that win condition probably shouldn't be pursued anymore. He's also still behind the hedge, so I still don't have an assassination run. He's doing great of denying me those and letting his army work. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Because the shock troopers engaged become defense 18, and I don't want to risk missing it, and I don't have the focus to spare to attempt 2 blinding lights, and it just seems really, really risky to not having blinding light on there and have Hyperion swinging into defense 15. I get Issyria in melee with them, kind of behind this wall over here, or behind this house, and she blinding lights them and hits them, which is really good. And then, you know, Narn goes in and kills a shock trooper. Some infiltrators go in to kill a shock trooper. Couple of other dudes get in the way of the clamjack. Some dudes shoot down the eliminators. Juggernaut gets disrupted, and these other strike force members just start getting in the way of the siege chariot. Hyperion goes up and kills off those Democorp, and I think all these Democorp die to one way or another or something like that. But however, that leaves Issyria kind of out there, and I run one Arcanist to be in the way, so that way there's not line of sight to Issyria, so nothing over here can sacrifice movement. Everything's all gummed up. The siege chariot is not blinding lighted, and yeah, that's kind of where I am at. And yep, infiltrators and shock troopers are still fighting each other over here behind the house. His clock is getting a little low. That's my new primary win condition, 13 minutes to 18 minutes, and it's now on his clock. So, but he's looking at the assassination run. He's kind of hoping he can slam the Arcanist into Issyria, knock her down, and then shoot her with a bunch of stuff. Because he has the siege chariot, the strike tanker, and the suppression tanker, and they can all do pretty good work against her. So he keeps Hand of Fate on the suppression tanker, and that Juggernaut that's disrupted walks up and bops both of those Mage Hunter Strike Force members. The tool strike tanker walks up, or suppression tanker walks up, takes a whole bunch of shots at Issyria, does some good damage, rolls pretty good on some damage rolls, but I think they were just okay. I mean, nothing really special. And, you know, she got damaged a whole bunch, and got down to, I can't remember, but she was pretty messed up, and I can't remember if she had one camp or no camp. And then also the Arcanist had to get shot to death in this process. The strike tanker, or the siege chariot, he's like, whatever, I'll just go for the shot on Issyria. It's a rat 6. She's a 16. He needs pretty dang high dice on 2 dice. He needs to roll a 10 on 2 dice. He hits her with the 10, slams her into Hyperion. So it's a 3 dice POW 20, and she's an armor 13. And she's dead. She just gets obliterated. And I'm like, ow. Yeah, that sucks. I don't feel great for my standing in this game as far as attrition goes. Right now, I think the score is fairly close. I've just been, I mean, I really haven't, we might even be 1-1 as far as score goes. I haven't really been capitalizing on the score the way I've wanted to. But yeah, he pulled off the assassination run. I probably shouldn't have risked Issyria. I probably should have just played safer. Although I feel like if I hadn't killed those Sanguine bonded Democorp, I was a little bit worried about them getting Hand of Fated and killing Issyria. But, because they can also, the thing is Vlad could then go forward and they can boost off of him. And being Hand of Fated, like 2 of them probably just kill Issyria, boosting it and boosting damage with Arcane Might. And I don't like being in that type of situation. So I have some regrets. It was a really good game. I really liked the early positioning of the Eliminators. I really liked the suppression tanker and his clamjack and his Democorp. I think the positioning of them was great. He was very well set up to take an alpha. He I mean, he took my little piddly alpha and turned it around and jammed it back into my face, and did a very good job of that, fighting for real estate. And I was trading people for real estate, and I did not get the investment. The investment did not pay off, and that was one of that turn. Gonna go back here, right here, when he broke through the lines of engagement that I tried to establish and dug deeper and set new lines of engagement in front of me, and then I did not dig past those. It totally spun the table. He used a lot of clock doing so, but it spun everything. It completely turned that whole game on its head for me, and took attrition off the table for me, and took my scenario turn 7 win kind of off the table for me. Great move there. Enjoy the game. It was a blast, and great opponent. Excited to play more team tournaments with him. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think.